Welcome, everyone. My name is Tracy Murphy-Poxtis, and this is Good to Great in Under 8, the weekly show for motivated professionals who want to create more business impact, get greater results, and ultimately experience more joy from their careers. So guys, no matter how long you've been working or how much leadership and management training and experience you have, when it comes to deciding whether or not to terminate somebody, it's a tough decision, and it's likely always going to be a tough decision, right? I mean, when we think about it from our own perspectives, we often tell ourselves, well, we can't terminate this person because I don't have time to onboard and find somebody new. Or I really like this person and I don't want to let them go. Or my favorite, which is I know their performance will get better. Or it's my fault they're not performing. Right? And then we think about it from the individual's perspective. And many of us start to wonder, well, what will they do if they're terminated, right? How is this going to impact their family? And how long is it going to take them to find another job? And so with all of that going on in our minds, how do we really approach and make this type of decision with confidence, yet without regret? And so in my experience, there's really several things that we honestly can do to make sure that we make the best decision for our teams and our organizations. And the first thing, and probably the most important, is to remember that a key part of our job, of your job, is to build a team that does great work and delivers results. And so reminding yourself that this is a key part of your job can really help take away some of the emotional charge associated with determining whether or not to terminate someone. Then I usually follow a series of questions that I'll ask both myself and other trusted colleagues who work with the individual in question. And I ask these questions to really help ensure that I'm being objective, right, about the situation. So the first question I like to ask is, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being very good and 1 being really poor, where's the individual's performance at today? And then I'll follow that up with, what specifically is the individual doing that's actually benefiting the project, the team, or the company? And then also, what specifically are they doing or not doing that's hindering the project, the team, or the company? And then once I have this clarity and I sort of know the what, then I also want to dig deeper to understand and see if I can't identify the root cause, right, for each of those behaviors. So for example, maybe as the individual's manager, I didn't set clear expectations when they joined the team. And now there's really an opportunity for me to do that. So then once I've done this, I also then like to engage the individual. Now, of course, you're typically having performance conversations, right, with the individual along the way. So this likely isn't the first time they're going to be hearing about this. But I like to engage them and get their perspective on what do they think the root cause of the behavior problems are. And, you know, I always find their responses quite telling. And I'll use those to then really help me figure out what my next steps are, right? So if the individual identifies a root cause that truly can be corrected, or that I can do something about, or that they can do something about, I want to help and support them, right, in correcting it. But if they're not able to identify a root cause, and say they blame other people, or they're not ready to recognize the severity of the issue, I know then that I really need to make a decision as to whether or not this individual is coachable and if they're worth the extra effort. And, you know, if I do believe there still is a chance, then I want to work with the individual to create an action plan, right, for what they need to be doing to be more successful. But it's also at this point that I want them to know that this is a serious issue, that I am here to help, but that they need to be the one responsible for turning things around. Now, it's also at this point that I typically would recommend engaging your HR partner and sharing with them sort of where you're at with the individual. And the reason for that is different companies have different policies and procedures. And so you want to make sure that you're following those, and your HR contact is going to be the best person to help make sure that happens. And additionally, you might also consider asking them what they might recommend to help support this individual if you haven't done that already. And then, guys, it's really once I've exhausted all of the options and I've not gotten the results that I wanted, right? The performance hasn't turned around, then I know it's time to make the decision to terminate. And I know that I'm feeling confident because I've done everything within my control to possibly do. And now it's really time for me to make the tough decision and do my job effectively. And remember, guys, this decision is always going to be a tough one. Just take it one step at a time. Don't let the crazy thoughts run through your mind. Don't let them take control over your mind and how you're thinking, right? Take a step back, let go of the emotional charge, and make a well-informed business decision, just like you would with anything else. And if you are, in fact, struggling with this now, and I know it can be tough, reach out to me. Send me an email at tracy@tracymurphycoaching.com, and we'll talk about it. We'll get a conversation started, and we'll get you through it so that you can feel confident and not have any regret. All right, guys, that's it. I will see you next week.